finding um, a some kind of a piece of evidence, and through that they can run and achieve so many things and, to make the life and the world a better place for other people. And so when we recognize someone is actually have achieved something, that we want to recognize those people, and we do so many things to show our gratitude, and that's what we does to the Buddha. And um, offering, maybe when you go to a certain culture, or you will see that people are offering food, or that you will see that they're offering incense, and maybe you will see they're offering flowers. And so the whole idea behind is it's really not that we are giving those things hoping that he will receive those things or he will see those things. It's just a gesture that we are showing that how much we appreciate this person, because the piece of teachings that he has brought to our lives has changed us, and hence that we are showing our gratitude, we are showing our um, um, respect towards that. And that's what we do. And you may see when you go to certain cultures, and you may recognize that uh, they they do tend to believe or do certain rituals, just like we do in other um, religions that who has a creator. But the whole purpose of these things that happen in Buddhist cultures is really not that purpose. So the uh, this Buddhist teachings is always geared towards um, how a person's mind works. And so this is like the biggest questions for us today, because biologically we can define how the mind works, how all the cells works, how our brain works, and we can see all the things that happens through the lenses that we have developed. Microscopically, we can really see the functions of all these tiny organisms, how everything works in the world. But still, even to today, that scientists and the scientist communities that actually struggle um, with um, the part of that how our mind works. And in psychology, that we learn about the mind through our behaviors. And because we can really pinpoint where the mind exists, it's not a muscular organ that we can really see that. And so this whole exploration in Buddha's teachings, that 2,500 over 500 years ago, that when he started that, when he sat down under a tree, it's all about just recognizing the the nature of the mind. And so every practice, every thing that we do in Buddhist cultures or the Buddhist teachings is geared toward a one goal. That a specific goal is to recognize and to understand this very mind, how this works. And so it's important to for us to recognize that, realize that, because every time when someone try to gain a little bit of knowledge about Buddhist teachings, it's really about focusing on how um, how this mind works and the nature of mind. And through understanding how the mind works, that we can learn, we can recognize how the mind behaves and how when things change in life and how our mind reacts to it. And so when those reactions, when these moments happens in life through the uh, Buddhist practice, through the mindfulness practice and the loving kindness is a very important component to that we have to have as we progress through this practice, because it brings so much uh, compassion, kindness towards yourself. And having that kindness, having that compassion is the key to when we try to deal with certain things in life, always to come back to yourself and be kind and be compassionate to yourself. And that allows us to release so much pressure or the stress level that we go through, the suffering that we go through, and also to step away from it. And so there are certain sufferings that we, without recognizing, we just divulge, and we just eat up the suffering, or we let the suffering eat up us. And so when we recognize those things, it brings so much lightness to our life, and it allows us to see this as then when it happens, and to recognize it, and to in a way to put a stop to it. And so I think that's where the Buddhism and Buddhist teachings comes handy. So I would like to actually emphasize that again and again for the listeners, that it is important to recognize that whole idea of Buddhist teachings or the practice or this TV radio program is to recognize that nature of our mind through our exploration, and that we do through our loving kindness and mindfulness practice. And so tune in, and so I'm going to continue this conversation about mind and its exploration and what Buddhist has said about it through coming up episodes. Thank you.